Hello and welcome to biology class. We are studying topic kingdom Animalia and we reach to the study of superclass Tetrapoda. The superclass Tetrapoda is divided into 4 different classes on the basis of what kind of skin they possesses. The first class of Tetrapoda is Amphibia and we have already studied Amphibia. So today's video we are going to shift to the second class of Tetrapoda, that is nothing but class Reptilia. Now as we have already discussed that this classification of Tetrapoda is based on the skin, what type of skin the animals possesses. On that basis the classification is done. So the amphibians which is the first class of the Tetrapoda, they were having glandular, moist and delicate thin skin. But when we shift to the Reptilia, which are little bit advanced animals and which are having, which are basically modified for the desert climatic condition. So these animals are having kind of rough skin which is covered by epidermal scales. So let us take few examples and then we'll shift to the characteristics of Reptilia. So these are the animals which are included in Reptilia. Now the first picture is of sea turtle. Now this animal is included in the Reptilia. The another animal is this lizard. Okay, this lizard, if you observe the skin properly, you can see that skin is basically covered by scales, but very tough scales, and the skin is basically non-glandular. That's why it appear dry, okay, and scaly. Another is this is also a kind of lizard which is also having a dry skin, and you can easily see it is located in the desert condition and adaptation are for the desert condition. Now another example of reptile is nothing but crocodiles. Crocodiles, alligators, all of them are included in reptiles. Another examples which I have not put pictures over here include snakes, okay, wall lizards. So these are also some examples of reptiles. So reptiles are kind of common organisms for us. Day to day we see these animals. So let us try to understand reptiles with their characteristics. So let us begin with the characteristics of reptile. Now when we consider the first characteristic, from where the word reptilia come from. Okay, the reptilia, this word come from the word called as repair. Now this repair in the Latin language, it means to creep or to crawl. Okay, so basically the animals which are crawling, which are creepers, are included in this class. That's why they are called as reptilia. Okay, but remember, classification is based on the type of skin it possesses. The second characteristic is obviously its skin. Skin is non-glandular, means it do not have any gland on it. Okay, so amphibians were having mucus gland, but here skin is dry. Okay, and this dry skin help to conserve water in the in desert conditions. Then the scales are either epidermal scales or in some cases it is plates. For example, in crocodile as well as tortoise, the skin is covered by plate. Now that's why the skin is called as scute. The skin is called as scute, and it always form a waterproof covering over the body. Whether it is epidermal scale or whether it is plate, it will form a waterproof covering over the body. Next characteristic is that there are 2 pairs of limbs, forelimbs and hind limbs, and limbs are modified according to its purposes. Now in case of snake, it lost its limbs during the process of evolution, as I explained you in the Tetrapoda. Again the limbs, when we consider, it is with digits and specifically with 5 digits. So whenever limbs are with 5 digits, they are called as pentadactyl limbs. So limbs are pentadactyl. Some cases limbs are lost, for example snake, and in some lizards also. The next one is about its skeleton. Now endoskeleton, bony endoskeleton, that is for sure. Now vertebrate And notochord is replaced by vertebral column, that is there, and this vertebral column is a little bit advanced as compared to amphibian. If you remember amphibian's vertebral column, the first vertebra which support the head is called as atlas, correct? In amphibians also this first vertebra was there, but amphibians were not having the second vertebra, that is axis. Now what does axis do? Last time I told you, do you remember it? Axis, this vertebra allow movement of neck, okay? So movement of head in one direction and another direction, it is allowed by the axis vertebra. And this axis vertebra was not there in the amphibian, was not there in the frog. That's why frog cannot move its neck. But it is provided into the reptiles. That's why all lizards can move their neck as axis vertebra is there. So this is all about the skeleton. Now next, when we consider digestive system is a little bit different than the all other animals. Now basically when I consider reptiles are carnivorous animals. Snake carnivorous, crocodile carnivorous, okay, but only tortoise or turtles, in the tortoise and turtles, they are omnivorous. Basically they feed on jellyfish, okay, but still they even can eat plant, leaves, etc. So they are basically omnivorous. Now in all carnivorous reptiles, mouth is wide, okay. In snake, mouth can open widely. Crocodile, they can open wide mouth, but tortoise cannot do this. It is omnivorous, it need not to open its mouth wide, okay. Then digestive system starts at mouth and ends at the cloacal aperture. Now when we consider this cloacal aperture, the cloaca, which is the previous part of the cloacal aperture, it is very long in this, okay, and it is having 3 chambers. Now why this is? See, cloaca is the just previous part of the cloacal aperture of digestive system. Like our large intestine, cloaca is a part in the reptiles. So this is basically having 3 sections, 3 chambers in case of reptiles. A long pipe with 3 chambers. Now why it is like that? Why cloaca is with 3 chambers? Now try to understand one thing. These all reptiles are basically growing or basically inhabiting in the desert climatic condition where water is really a problem. They do not get water easily. So whatever water they are getting, they need to conserve that water. And this 3-chambered cloaca help to conserve water. Okay. Now next characteristic is about its respiratory system. Always pulmonary respiration means respiration with the help of lungs. Okay. Now one extra thing reptiles are having over the amphibians for its respiration. Now see, reptiles are provided with ribs. Ribs are the thoracic case, okay, thoracic bones. And these ribs are provided with the intercostal muscles. So these muscles and ribs can move, okay, and this allow more air to come in and breathe in, okay. So because of the movement of ribs and intercostal muscle, they can breathe in more air. Even we are having intercostal muscles and ribs, so we can breathe in more air than the other animals. Understanding? Then circulatory system, they are provided with 3-chambered heart. Okay, most of the reptiles are provided with 3-chambered heart except crocodiles and tortoise. Okay, crocodiles and tortoise are having 4-chambered heart, very advanced characteristic. Now usually the 3 chambers means 2 auricles and 1 ventricle. Okay, but here in crocodiles and tortoise all 4 chambers are present, 2 auricles, 2 ventricles. Okay, now reptiles show the presence of double circulation. Double circulation means blood come twice in the heart. Okay, when blood complete one circulation inside our body, it come 2 times in the heart. Double circulation detail we will study in the circulation topic. Okay, now RBCs are oval, biconcave and nucleated. So this is about its circulatory system. See, 7 characteristics we have discussed so far. First one is about its scale. You need to remember scute. Okay. The second characteristic we discussed about its digestive system. You need to remember about cloacal aperture, cloaca, conservation of water, etc. Then you need to remember about its skeleton, atlas as well as axis are present, movable neck. Okay, endoskeleton is obviously made up of bones. Then respiratory system, you need to remember pulmonary respiration. Extra characteristic is ribs and intercostal muscles. Three-chambered heart in almost all of them except crocodile and tortoise. Heart is four-chambered. Okay, and specification is of double circulation. Okay, let us shift to the next characteristic. Now they are the one who are showing 12 pairs of cranial nerves. Reptiles onwards, all advanced animals show 12 pairs of cranial nerves. Well developed brain and their olfactory lobes. Olfactory lobes means sense of smell. Sense of smell is better developed as compared to amphibians. Understanding, even cerebellum, which is the part of the brain, it is also well developed. Now sense organs. Ears are considered as a sense organ. Only ears are explained in your book. So external, middle and internal ear. All three different ears are present. If you remember, amphibians were not having this external ear. They were having only middle and internal ear. So this is the extra characteristic added in the reptiles. Now next one is the excretory system. They are uricotelic. Now I need not to explain you why they are uricotelic, isn't it? Tell me why reptiles must be uricotelic. Before that, you need to tell me what is uricotelic. Excretory waste is uric acid. Uric acid means for their excretion very little amount of water is required. So already reptiles are surviving in a desert climatic condition. So obviously they need to be uricotelic. But aquatic reptiles like crocodiles and tortoise need not to be uricotelic because they are surviving in water itself, lot of water, so they are ureotelic. Remember this. And kidneys work as a excretory organ. Now next one is they are also cold-blooded animals when it comes to their body temperature, but they are little bit advanced cold-blooded animal. They cannot adjust, means their body temperature also changes according to environmental temperature, just like any other cold-blooded animal. But they, they are having little techniques. They have developed some techniques by which they can maintain their body temperature little bit higher than the environmental temperature. Okay, like for example, when the temperature is very high, snake go and rest beneath the tree so that it can decrease its body temperature. Okay, so there is a little control on the body temperature, but not much. Understanding? Now next one is about its reproduction. When we consider reproduction in reptiles, all the reptiles are unisexual. Okay, all the reptiles are unisexual, means male and female, two different individuals. Fertilization is always internal. There is no external fertilization. Okay, fertilization is always internal. Now females are oviparous. Now what do you mean by oviparous? Females are egg laying. Okay, but there is an exception. Rat snake is a reptile, is a kind of snake which is viviparous, which give birth to a baby snake. Okay, now when it comes to the egg of the female, reptile female, it is polylecithal egg. Now polylecithal egg means egg with egg yolk, that yellow part of the egg, which is nothing but food for the growing embryo. So the egg is with food. Okay, so when the baby is growing inside the egg, that time it get food from the yolk, and it is the egg is self-sufficient, and self-sufficient egg is called as cleidoic. Now self-sufficient means it is from that yolk and from that everything inside the egg, it is getting water, it is getting food, it is getting everything whatever required for its growth. That's why egg is called as self-sufficient egg. Understanding? So when the reptile baby is born, when the small crocodile or small snake is born, it is self-sufficient. It is well developed, and it can immediately after birth it can start capturing its food. It don't need parental care. Mother snake need not to teach baby snake to capture rat. Okay, it is self-sufficient. Now next one is that when we consider its embryo is having all the three membranes. Amnion is one membrane on the embryo, yolk sac is another membrane, and allantois and chorion are the other two membranes. So all the four membranes are observed in case of reptile eggs. That's why they are called as amniotes. As all the reptile eggs are provided with all the four membranes, okay, embryo is called as amniote. Okay, or reptiles in general are called as amniotes. Humans are not amniotes because we are not having all the four membranes. We don't have yolk sac, we don't have amnion. Okay, so that we will study later on. So this is about reproduction in the reptile. What you need to remember in reproduction: see, unisexual, male and female always separate, fertilization always internal. Most of the reptiles are oviparous. Only few cases are viviparous. Okay. Egg is self-sufficient, called as cleidoic, and it is yolky, called as polylacethal egg. Understanding? And as all the four membranes are present in the embryo, reptiles are called as amniotes. Got it? So these are the things you need to remember about reptiles. Now when we consider different examples of reptiles, only 6,000 different living species of reptiles exist today. But there was a period on Earth, period of evolution on Earth, which is called a Jurassic period. In this Jurassic period, all Earth, whole land is covered by huge reptiles. We generally call them as dinosaurs. There were different species of dinosaurs exist at time, and it was a time which is heaven for the reptiles. Reptiles were growing like anything on the earth. But Jurassic period was afterward followed by Triassic period, which is on that particular period there is a huge decline of the reptile species, and only 6,000 different species survived from that decline, and those exist today. Okay. Some of the examples are turtles, tortoise, lizard, snake, crocodiles, etc. So this is all about different characteristics of reptiles. Try to remember them all and try to understand them all. So this is all for today. In the next video, see you with the next class of the tetrapoda, that is class Aves. Till then, goodbye, take care.